So last night I watched Leslye Headland's Sleeping with Other People, and then I fell asleep before I could record a video, so whoops. Um, Before I get into the film, I just want to say there's two things that I thought were very strange, and that was that Natasha Lyonne and Adam Brody showed up for really, really, really small, inconsequential cameos. And part of me was like, yay, because I like them. And part of me was like, why would you cast these two actors that are really great in such small roles? Like, why? And also, why would those actors take such small roles? They must be, like, good friends with her or something. I don't know. Anyways. The film is written and directed by Leslye Headland, and it stars Alison, Brie, and Jason Sudeikis, and it began in 2002, where they are both in college. I think she's supposed to be like a freshman, and he's supposed to be a grad student, probably. They meet because she is trying to get her TA / rude boyfriend to open his door and let her in because she wants to lose her virginity to him, but he doesn't open the door, and then Jason Sudeikis' character lets her in so she doesn't get kicked out, and then they talk, and then lo and behold, they lose their virginity to each other. Then we jump to the present, 13 years later, and Jake is maybe a sex addict, and Lainey, Jake is Jason Sudeikis, and Lainey, Alison Brie, has just broken up with her boyfriend, Adam Brody, because she's cheated on him, which we find out is with the same TA guy, played by Adam Scott, who has been stringing her along for 10 years, and it's awful. So they meet at a sex addict meeting, Jason Sudeikis and Alison Brie, and become friends, and say they'll only be friends and not sleep with each other, even though later they find out that they have fallen in love with each other, but they don't want to do anything about it because they realize that they mean too much to each other, and they fuck everything up when they sleep with somebody, and so they don't want to fuck it up. That's the plot. Other things happen. It gets complicated. I felt like there were parts of it that were very true to life and feelings that were very, very real, and I enjoyed that. I wonder how many people have somebody like the Adam Scott character who, particularly women, although I haven't talked to very many men, but maybe men have women who treat them the same way, where they keep thinking that if I give them enough time, they'll come around and they'll pick me. And I feel like that's a very common thing. And I don't know what's wrong with us that we keep letting people do that to us. But, we're only human. What can you do? And hopefully you find somebody better who knocks that idea out of your head. And that's sort of the plot of this film, is that somebody finally knocks that false hope out of her head. The thing I didn't particularly care for was that I felt like the film should have been 50% Jason Sudeikis, 50% Alison Brie, but it felt more like 75% Jason Sudeikis, 25% Alison Brie. I felt like I really knew his character, and I understood why he was doing the things that he did, but I didn't really know her character. I didn't know, for example, she's supposed to be a kindergarten teacher who was, as a kid, wanting to be when we first meet her, she wants to go to med school, but she never did. And you kind of surmise that perhaps the evil TA guy sort of tricked her into made her feel bad about her own intellect, and so she didn't do it. But what I wanted to know is how she ended up going to kindergarten, going to be a kindergarten teacher, who then in her 30s starts studying for the MCAT to go to med school. There's got to be more there, because you don't just become a kindergarten teacher. There's steps, and it's difficult to be a teacher, unless she's in some crazy private school where you don't need a credential or whatever. But none of that's explained, and so it doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense in terms of the logistics of careers. And then the Jason Sudeikis character has some thing that I didn't really understand, that he gets purchased for $5 million, and so now he's super rich. And that just sort of allowed, pretty much all the characters are super rich, and that allows them to do whatever they want. And not think about money. And I always find that, I guess because cinema is supposed to be like another world or whatever, you shouldn't really think like, how are they supporting themselves? But I kept thinking, how are they supporting themselves? So like, with him, it made sense because she had created, some world for him that he had $5 million. But with her, I was like, how does she have that amazing apartment in New York on a kindergarten teacher's budget? Like, did she have rich parents? But you never find out about their parents or their family or anything. And so as much as I enjoyed the plot, and the plot was well plotted for traditional romantic comedy, the characters were so underdeveloped. I didn't understand why anybody did anything that they did. So I wish there had been better character development. You have to rent this one on disc. I couldn't find it for rent anywhere, like digital rent anywhere. So if you want to see it, it's from 2015. So if you want to see it, you have to rent a disc. It's, again, written and directed by Leslye Headland. She did Bachelorette a few years ago, which I watched a couple months ago, and I liked Bachelorette a lot more than I liked this one. That's not to say I didn't like this one. This one was okay. This was 2015's Sleeping with Other People.